Hey friends, welcome back. Hope you're having a blessed day today. We're with Total Health and Wellness. We like to talk about hormones, metabolic health, and everything in between. I'm Mark, I'm a certified health coach, and this is Teresa. She's a board certified family nurse practitioner. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about creating a synergy, and specifically the title tonight is going to be Is Creating a Synergy Important for Weight Loss? So if you kind of approach this from the standpoint of like it's kind of the same concept as many hands make small work or light work. That's kind of what we're talking about here, and we're talking about it. Really, you could apply it to a lot of different things, but I think weight loss is very helpful, and we'll get a little bit more into it right now. So Teresa has some stuff she wants to talk to you guys about.
Okay, I'm not going to say anything about that.
Well, we got our kitty in the background. So typically when we do these videos, she likes to go crazy. I guess she figures we're having a conversation with somebody. We have visitors or guests
She's
over the
very
house,
social.
and she's very social, so she'll start going crazy. So what we wanted to do is try and include her in the video tonight, make her feel like she's more included. So hopefully she is. For those of you who don't know, that's Squirt. She's one of our two cats. She's the more social of the two, so we won't be seeing the other one, I don't think.
Oh no.
Jill. But anyway, all right. Well, what did you want to talk about?
Okay, so last week I saw somebody. She's a 49-year-old female, and she had a hysterectomy, and she's been in menopause for quite a while. I've had her on hormones since 2020, and her A1C has crept from 5.5 all the way up to 6.1. And when I saw her last week, I was like, "Oh wow, you look amazing!" And her sugar and stuff was down. So she says she's lost 30 pounds.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's great. But I've been trying since 2020. So I was like, what finally happened? She, her A1C went from 5.5 up to 6.1, and now it's down to 5.4, lost 30 pounds. So I asked her what she did. Guess what the change was? Her husband got on board. That's the importance of synergy. That's the importance of not having people sabotaging you, having support. Mm-hmm. He lost 45 pounds. She lost 30. He's off his CPAP machine. He's decreasing in his blood pressure pills, and they both started resistance training 4 days a week. So that's the importance of support.
Yes.
If you're trying to do this by yourself, cooking dinner for you, cooking dinner for your family, and then you're sitting on the couch with your family while they're eating M&Ms and potato chips, and you're trying to stay strong, it's very difficult.
It is. And when we're talking about, we're essentially talking about our tribe. And so when you think about a tribe, it's tremendously helpful if you can get the other people who you're living with on board with it. But if not, it's also very effective and very helpful to get somebody from outside of the household involved. If you don't have a partner or a husband or a wife that, is going to get on board with this. So yeah. For sure, any help is good. But if you can get the people living in your home who you're eating with and living with and whatnot, it's just that much more effective.
That's 75 pounds between the two of them.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Like what?
Yes.
Like a whole little person, like a whole 10 or 12-year-old.
Mm-hmm. And what did she talk about the way she was eating?
Low carb.
Yeah.
Low carb. And they started resistance training. And it's so much easier when, someone at work and someone at home is doing it with you. It is just so much easier.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
Yep. Well, and that was all we really wanted to cover tonight. It was a short, sweet.
I think when we talked about it last week, we started to expand on it, but now I forget.
Well, and that's what we had a conversation about this particular patient in the house the other day. And we've known this and we've talked about this briefly in some of our previous posts and videos that we've done. But you just can't underestimate the importance of it, or underestimate the importance of building a tribe or having a support network. And it doesn't just apply to eating. It also applies to things like going to the gym.
Yeah.
I always liked to train with somebody who was bigger, stronger, and faster than I was, whether it was with running or whether it was going to the gym and lifting, no matter what it was. And that way, those people pull you and bring you along. And additionally, it's helpful because some of you are not going to be on your A game every single day.
Yeah.
So none of us will be. And it's nice to have somebody else who can help pull us a little bit, when we're not feeling that great. So
I agree. It's just the importance of food and strength training. So building lean mass to raise your metabolism, mm-hmm. and then changing your food to lower your carbohydrates or your sugar. So go back, I think it was last week, we did the whole day of how we used to eat. And it was 383 grams of carbohydrates in one day.
Yeah.
You cannot burn that off at the gym.
Yeah.
If you're an Olympic athlete, you can.
And talking about us specifically, so Teresa and myself, one of the big reasons why we've been successful in keto, and we haven't been successful the whole time. We started off, we had a really choppy start when we first got into keto. It was up and it was down. We were doing good. We weren't doing good. And we were kind of learning things.
Yeah.
So we were doing things we didn't even know we were doing that were wrong. The bottom line is the two of us were in it together the entire time. We were both committed to it. We were both supporting each other. We continued through that. There was a little bit of a challenge at time with the kids. When they were younger, it was much easier to kind of maintain their way of eating a certain way. And as they got older, though, and they're in school, they're going to school activities, they're getting invited to birthday parties, they're going to go out and sleep over a friend's house, whatever the case may be, you start losing and relinquishing a little bit of that control. And that's really where that happened with the kids. They're like, oh my gosh, there's all this sugar stuff and pizza and all these other fun things. And they'd had it before. We weren't completely keeping it from it. We were just limiting it. And we kind of relinquished that control. And eventually they started eating the way they wanted to eat. However, they've come back. Yeah. So they're getting better about their way of eating again. And they're both 17 now. So they come back around and they're actually starting to do some of the things we were teaching them to do when they were younger. So that leads to a good point about frustration. When, with kids specifically, sometimes they're going to look like they're moving away from you a little bit, but hopefully if you're doing things right, they're going to come back around too.
Yeah, you're building a foundation. Now their girlfriends do it stricter than they do.
Right. Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah. One of them actually kind of got into it one of the girlfriends did it on her own. She was doing I don't know what the deal was she was doing, some sort of a diet and whatnot, but it led her down the low carb and keto path kind of. And then the other one just did it basically because she saw us doing it. So it's kind of cool. It's neat to watch everybody grow and,
Yeah. So just remember, if you're changing the way you're eating, I had someone call today that I just saw her and her husband started them on hormones and she felt like she had the keto flu. Her heart was racing. She was sweating. She felt really flu-like symptoms. And so she needs electrolytes. You have to remember. And she said, I'm not dehydrated. I drink all day long. But if you drink, okay, first of all, she's on a blood pressure pill, which many times depletes potassium. And then if you drink all day long, like that's another myth, drink 2 gallons, drink half your body weight in ounces. If you're not replenishing electrolytes, you're going to be peeing because you're drinking so much and you're flushing out electrolytes, but not taking any electrolytes in. So if you're going to do that, put, Himalayan sea salt or whatever in your water as you're drinking, or like we take keto electrolytes 1-2 a day. Yeah.
So you see those on Instagram and Facebook, Element, LMNT. I'm doing one called ATH Sport because it's using monk fruit in lieu of stevia for its sweetener. Stevia bothers my stomach a little bit, and I'm not 100% convinced about how great stevia is to begin with, but it's tremendously helpful throughout the day. I'm a heavy sweater. I went out and ran sprints today. It was a little cooler this morning when I ran, so it wasn't terrible. But when I come in from running sprints, I've been sweating a lot in the middle of the summertime, and I will make sure I replenish electrolytes. Last year, I was actually using a capsule, and while that's good, I feel better when I'm drinking the electrolytes and they're getting right into my system. So potassium, magnesium, and salt, those are the 3 really big ones that you want to replenish, which fortunately, most of these electrolyte supplements, they focus on those.
Yeah, but it's just a testament to what you do, and how you sweat is different from like what I do. And
it's 100%. Yeah. I deplete my electrolytes very quickly because of how heavy I sweat.
Yeah.
And what we were talking about before that, we were talking a little bit about the keto flu. So we were talking about some of those symptoms and things that you suffer from. So the keto flu is mainly electrolytes. Brain fog is the same thing. Well, your body is making that adjustment. We've done videos in the past about this specifically, but as your body's making that adjustment from a carb burner or a sugar burner to a fat burner, you're going to have some issues. You can have some gut issues while your gut bacteria is changing and you're switching over from a fermentation type digestive process to a enzymatic type digestive process. So all those things are things to keep into account, but most of them will pass on their own. And there's things you can do like taking the electrolytes to help to curb that while it's happening.
Yeah, I know the other thing is this patient is on lisinopril, which is a blood pressure medicine. So I can't be for sure, even though she's been checking her blood pressure, it could be too low for her, making her feel real heavy and like flu-like. So I just had her break it in half, because you can always take the second half later in the evening if you really figure out you need it.
This is not medical advice, though. If you need medical advice, you should reach out to your highly trained and knowledgeable medical provider. And if you need a recommendation on that, check out our we have information in the description and or the I can't even talk today. The description and or the comment section, depending upon what social media platform you're looking at. We have links to for worldlinkmedical.com. We have links for hormone providers. And then on the low carb or the metabolic health side, we have the SMHP and LowCarb USA, both .orgs.
Yeah.
And there's information where there's provider directories where you can find those providers on those websites.
But I will tell you, today in my office, I told a patient, stop asking your doctor for nutrition, because he just shoved a piece of paper. And I said, it's a new patient, which I have her write up. I'm going to do a case study on her because it was, yeah. And so I said, I want her to send me a copy of it, but it's whole grains and fruit. And she's 270 pounds and 5'2".
Yeah.
And he told her, you don't have sugar problems.
Yeah.
So don't stop asking your doctors about hormones, nutrition, lifestyle, sleep. We don't learn it. GYNs do not learn menopause. Primary does not learn menopause. They don't know how to help you. And the system they're practicing in is not designed to help you, which is also frustrating because you pay, this is a little tangent, $1,000 a month premiums for your insurance. So I was saying to the patient today that I was talking to, this patient, and I said, so say, and it's more than this because you don't have things come up often, but you've been paying $1,000 a month for 4 years. That's $48,000. And then you have an event, kidney stone. And then you have to pay a $10,000 deductible. So now you've spent $58,000 for what? For using it one time? It's a scam. It's a Ponzi scam.
Well, you're doing that. I'm just reading a question or a comment that somebody had, which is very helpful to us. So thank you so much, Linda, for that. So lots of articles where people partake in 48 or 72 hours fast with no food. Any input on fast like that, and if they are valuable or not? Wow, it's a great question.
So we 2 years ago, we had something come up in our lives that we needed answer to prayers for. So 5 weeks in a row, we fasted from Sunday dinner until Wednesday dinner. So those are 72-hour fasts. And we did it for religious purposes. But after you've been fasting for 16 to 19 hours, somewhere in there, you start autophagy, which is where your body clears out dead, diseased, non-functioning, or bad functioning cells. So I think it's terrific.
Especially, and you rebuild new ones.
Right.
Rebuild, that's the whole point of it.
Yep. I mean, if I had cancer, I would start fasting pretty in depth like that. But you can lose a quick amount of weight that way, reset your metabolism, get prayers answered.
And there's lots of different ways to fast too. You don't. One way is to obviously just stop eating and not eat anything for a few days.
Yeah.
Again, this is not medical advice, just saying that there's options out there to do it. And we've done all these things. Other ways to do time release fasting. So you only eat during a certain period of time, or intermittent fasting. You eat in a window or a certain amount of time. And then there's a one meal a day. So a great way for you to start if you're new to fasting is to eat your dinner. So tonight we ate dinner at 5 p.m. Okay. So we ate dinner at 5 o'clock. And then what you're going to do is fast all the way to the morning naturally. Okay. Because you're going to be sleeping all night.
Yes.
So you've already got hopefully 7 or 8 hours built in there of fasting time that you don't have to worry about like white knuckling it through. Okay. Then after you wake up in the morning, try and push your breakfast, if you're a breakfast eater, a little bit later in the morning, and continue to do that over a period of time until you get a little bit later in the morning, a little bit later, and then you can start narrowing your window throughout the day of the window that you eat within, okay? So maybe you push that to where you even eventually start skipping lunch, and then you're only eating food between 3 o'clock and say 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And you can eat as much as you want during that time, as long as it's the right foods. But you can eat during that window. So
yeah, and people do make it confusing because there's groups that want to keep things confusing.
Yeah.
But so females, and they kind of say menopausal females, and it spikes cortisol. So you just have to know how you feel. So during the 3-day fast, he doesn't feel good. I feel like it's probably the second day you really start to fall apart. His cortisol gets elevated, and he's very, very grumpy.
Yeah. And it wakes me up in the middle of the night as well. About 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, I'll have a cortisol spike, and then I'll just wake up, and then I could go out and run a marathon for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I don't run them, but I mean, I could.
Then for me, the first day we're doing it, I will have a little bit of trouble usually sleeping the first night, but the second night I'm usually totally fine. Now we push through because we needed a prayer answered, but you have to figure out what your body's asking you to do or not asking you to do. Like someone messaged us today and said, I started to work out. On days I work out, I'm going to fight somebody for some ground beef. Should I keep pushing through my fast? And I was like, no, no. There's no yes answer. There's no answer. There's no right or wrong. So there are some days when I really know I need something to eat. Like I really got to get something to eat. And there's other days where I'm like, you're being a pansy. Like it's fine. You're not going to die. So just learn your body and kind of figure that out.
And don't start off, doing one meal a day.
No.
Let your body slowly build up to what you're doing and make it sustainable. And then, I did OMAD, one meal a day, for about a year. And that wasn't sustainable for me. My body started pushing back. So I had to go back to eating 2 meals a day. And I know that I can do OMAD, but it's not, my body doesn't prefer it, especially not for long periods of time.
Well, and honestly, you can't get all your protein in. One meal a day, it's difficult to eat like 5 ribeyes.
Yeah. I was eating a ton of protein, but it probably was not sufficient.
Yeah.
So, and then it also helps if you're medically supervised. So if you have a provider who can watch your levels and make sure everything is staying balanced, that's important too. So make sure you have a provider who's knowledgeable in how to do that before you start, so they can actually run these tests on you. And again, we know where you can find those providers. There's a couple of links there for you. So, all right. Well, did you have anything else you wanted to touch on? That was good. All right. Well, we touched on a few different things there. So if you guys have any more questions, please put them in the comment section. Also, if there's anything else you would like us to talk about, please add those to the comment section as well. Hit those likes and subscribe buttons and all the good, funny.
And remember, Facebook now is deleting live videos after 30 days.
Right.
So if you want to see a video, so we just got notification that sometime in July, they're all going to be deleted. We've been making live videos since 2014.
Yeah.
So
bye-bye.
And I think our content is useful. There's somebody out there that's going to be useful.
Yeah.
too.
If we can even reach one person on a video that we do, it's definitely worthwhile, but it's very helpful when you guys add questions or comments and you guys ask for us to talk about a certain topic. It just gives us content and it helps keep us motivated too to do it. We're like, oh, these people want this, so it's great.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we're just posting we were posting the YouTube videos to Facebook, and they didn't do that great. So we're just going to put the live videos up, and they'll come off whenever Facebook decides they're going to come off. So we're not in charge of that. No. We're not the boss of them.
We'd have to go and download every single video we ever did. It's a lot.
For sure. And Linda, you're welcome. Very welcome for that. Thanks for the question.
Yeah, she supports us a lot on here.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. Well, we're going to sign off for now. So as always, we love you all.
So much.
God bless you. We'll see you next time. And don't forget, food matters.
Bye.
Bye.